Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the picker and the people of the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets. Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats, where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, cause we got ourselves a ball, but the Mets of New York town. Give them a yell, give them a hand, and let them know you're rooting and you stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Of New York town. Hey, welcome guys. This is CP Cards and Dice, and this is your YouTube streaming tabletop channel for chat, new products, game design, tabletop strategy, anecdotes, player profiles, history, reviews, and news. So you get it all here, and we have fun doing it. And we're replaying the 1969 Mets using Payoff Pitch. And we must include tutorials in that. Do not forget the tutorials, right? We do a lot of those. And this is game 6 of our replay, and it's one of the most exciting replays, so I'm really excited about it because it pits Tom Seaver, Tom Terrific, the franchise, a young guy, 25 years old, and he's a power pitcher. I mean, he's throwing hard against Bob Gibson, 34 years old, 9 years older than Seaver. So it's Gibson for the Cardinals, Seaver for the Mets. April 13th, day game, 1969, and we are about to get started. Now, Tom Seaver was 25-7, 2.21 ERA, pitched 273 innings. Bob Gibson, 20-13, 2.18 ERA, and pitched 314 innings. So you're looking at probably seeing 2 complete games in this matchup. So we're going to get started right away, and it's going to be Tom Seaver is going to face the leadoff batter for the Cardinals, base stealing master Lou Brock. And in 69, he stole 53 bases. He's going to be in left field, followed by Curt Flood, the center fielder, Vada Pinson, the right fielder, batting third. Batting fourth in the big cleanup spot is the commissioner of baseball, Joe Torre, at the first base spot. Batting fifth is going to be Tim McCarver. Sixth is the third baseman, Mike Shannon. Batting seventh is Julian Javier, the second baseman. Batting eighth is Dal Maxville. And then the pitcher, Bob Gibson, batting ninth. So let's get started. The way you play Payoff Pitch is you roll 2d6, and that goes on your pitcher. That gives you a category or an area to look at on the batter's card, and then with your 2d10, the result of that will give you some sort of result. The better pitchers will get more outs, and basically it's how it works. So let's start. Let's roll both sets. So that's going to be an 8 on Seaver. That's going to be a tough pitch. So let's see what Lou Brock can do with a tough pitch, and that's going to be a 60, a tough 60. And that's going to be a fly to left field. Left fielder is Jones, Cleon Jones.
and that's 1 out. That's how easy Payoff pitch is to play. It's a great game. It's got gorgeous cards, and I highly recommend it. So here goes. We got our camera going wacko. Let's see if we get something in there for it to focus on. Let's see if that'll work. Let's see if this will work. It's settled down a little bit. All right. Our camera has a tendency to do that. Let's straighten it out a little bit. It's got a little, okay. So that's going to be a 10, and that's a ballpark 85. Now, ballpark here versus right-handed batters is 1-32 versus left-handers is 1-23. So righties have a bit more of an advantage to get into wheelhouse. This is going to be an in-play roll. Curt Flood's in play. Curt Flood versus righties was 251. That's a 31 in play 31, and that's going to be outside of a hit range. That's popped up. Left side, Charles, the elder statesman. And that's 1 down. I'm sorry, 2 down, 2 out. And it's Veda Pinson. And that's an 8. That's a tough pitch, a tough 83. And that's a ground ball second base. That's Wayne Garrett, puts it away, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Tom Seaver. Tom Terrific. Tom Terrific is out of baseball right now. He's ailing, suffering from dementia. Bob Gibson against Tommy Agee, Rod Gasper, and Wayne Garrett. That's going to be a 4. That's patient, a patient 14. And that's going to be ball 4. So Agee's on with a walk, and we're going to try to see if we can get a lead here. Agee had 12 stolen bases. So 4. We need a 4. We got to roll a 10, so we don't do it. Rod Gasper now. That's a 10. That's going to be in play on Gibson, an in play 50. And that's a fly to right. Pinson is there. 1 out. Wayne Garrett, lefty hitting second baseman, 22 years old. Batted 218 versus righties. That's an 8. That's a tough pitch, a tough 29, and that's strike 3. Gibson blows one by Wayne Garrett. ID Jester, how are you, brother? And Cleon Jones. Now, Cleon Jones is the hitting star for the Mets in 1969, batted 340. He was in the running for the batting title for a long time. 7. In play, 98, fly to left, and that retires the side. Mets lead 1 score, none, and after 1 complete, no score. Gibson versus Seaver. That's a 5. Tough out. So that's an automatic out. 79. That's a fly to center field. Agee to his right. 1 down. Tim McCarver using actual lineups. 7 in play. 45. And that's a fly to left this time. Jones in left. Back in left. He played first base for a couple of games. Mets committed 6 errors in yesterday's loss. Yes, 6 errors in yesterday's 6-0 loss to the Cardinals. That was crazy. Ed Charles committed 3 errors. The total of the game saw 9 errors committed in that game. That was nuts. Mike Shannon now, 2 outs. And that's a 7. That's in play. In play 45. And that's a ground ball to the first baseman, Cranepool. It's going to be 3 unassisted, 3 up, 3 down. So Seaver's retired 6 in a row. Aha! ID Jester. He's got the Hawkeye. I think he should change his name to Hawkeye. Thank you, sir. I will edit that when I go in right before I release the video for mass public consumption. I will correct that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. He has a very perceptive eye for detail. All right, Bob Gibson. Now, I will be eating soup for the next week, boys, because I made an offer on a 1976 set. Yep, I Topps 1976 set, so I could see what my 76. I'm doing a Yankee replay inside pitch, so I want to see what that looks like. So here's Ed Kranepool batted .255 against righties. That's a 5. That's patient. A patient 72, and that's a fly to center. Flood comes in under it. Ed Charles 6. That's a tough pitch. A tough 28. Strike 3. Second K for Bob Gibson. And that's defense. So we pull a card. It's going to say potential error third base. And we rolled an 87. That's above an error. And I'll tell you right now, look, I don't even have to look. It only goes up to 68. So that's line and caught. It's my home rule on those. It's a line out. And 3 up, 3 down for Gibson. He's retired 6 in a row. So Grody lines out to the third baseman, Mike Shannon, to end the second inning. We go to the top of the third. It's Javier, Maxville, and Gibson. And that's a 10. That's ballpark. A ballpark 48. That's going to be in play on Javier. An in play 41 is a ground ball to the first baseman. 1 out. Dal Maxville is next. That's defense on Seaver's card. We're going to pull a card, a potential error third base. But this time we rolled a 16, so that's going to be a 1 or 2 base error on the third baseman. It's a 1 base error, so it's a ground ball. And, Charles misplays it, rolls away from him. Safe at first is Maxville, and that's his 4th error in 2 games. E5. So this is the 7th error for the Mets in 2 games. So their defense has really collapsed here in the last 2 games. Now it's going to be Gibson. We're going to hit away with Gibson because he has a pretty good pitcher hitting card. That's 12. That's a tough 97. And that's going to be a fly to left. 2 out. And Maxville back to first. Brock now with 2 outs. That's ballpark again, 76. That's going to take us to in play 36. And that's going to be a line drive, left field, runners advance, 2 bases. So hustling to third is Dal Maxville. First and third. First hit off Seaver. Lou Brock. And Lou Brock's always a threat to steal. Let's see if we can get a lead. We need a 6 or less. That's a foul ball. And that's an 11. Nope. Brock won't get the lead. So with 2 outs, runners on first and third, top of the third, no score. Kurt Flood batted .251 versus righties. Here's the pitch from Seaver. That's a 9. That's patient. A patient 15. Ball 4. So bases are loaded. And of course, any runs that are earned, that are scored in this inning at this point, are going to be unearned runs because the Gibson out would have been the 3rd out of the inning. So now we got Veda Pinson batted .243 versus righties. So let's see if Tom Seaver can bear down and get out of this jam. This is a tight jam here with the bases loaded. Hey, Molly. Hiya. All right, UK. 2 new payoff pitch seasons have arrived. Ha-ha. Cards are beautiful, so worth the wait. Just waiting for inside pitch. Apparently the package has reached London. Haha. London. There it goes. One of my favorite movies of all time takes place in London. 28 days later. Cost me $500 to see that movie. Yeah, it's a long story, but I was traveling that day, the day of its release here in the United States. I believe it was like a June or July of 29th of like 2004. And I traveled. I was traveling, and I had about $500 cash in my wallet. And the minute I arrived, I just went right to the movie theater to see it in the next showing. And I took my cousin with me, and we sat there, and I had shorts on. It was summertime, and I put my legs up, and my wallet slipped out of my pocket. Bases loaded. Veda Pinson, Tom Seaver. That's a 6. That's a tough out. That's what Seaver wanted. 46. And that's going to be a pop-up in the infield. Harrelson calling it, makes the catch, and Seaver gets out of the jam. Tom, terrific. So, going back to the story, my wallet slides out of my pocket, unbeknownst to me. I leave the theater. I head to, I don't know where I went. I try to grab for my wallet. It's not there. I said, oops. I rush back. I asked the cleaning lady. She says, oh, I think they have something in the office. I go to the office. They give me my wallet without the $500. So to see 28 days later, it cost me $500. Yes. And I love, and that's the film's fault. Exactly. That's the movie's fault. It did cost me $500 to see that movie. But it continues to be one of my favorite movies, and I have the DVD, and I always watch it. I mean, I love it. 9, tough. A tough 62. Gibson to Harrelson. And that's a ground ball, second base. Javier. Seaver now, pitcher hitting card 3, not very good. That's a tough 30. Strike 3, third strikeout for Bob Gibson. We're in the bottom of the third, no score. 1969, game 6 of the season. 10 in play, 27. And that's going to be a ball that's foul ball. No, drops in, fair ball, base hit. They're saying it dropped fair. Tommy Agee is on at first. We're going to try to see you get a lead with Tommy Agee. We need a 4. Jesus. And we get it. So there goes Agee. We're going to pull a card, see what that looks like. He's out at second base. So Tim McCarver guns him down. And that's 2-6. Caught stealing for Tommy Agee. That retires the side. So Tim McCarver came up firing and gets Agee at second base, trying to steal the base for the last out of the inning. Go to top of the 4th. It's going to be Seaver versus Torrey, McCarver, and Shannon. And that's a 7 in play, 37. That's comebacker to Seaver, feels his position. Went out. To McCarver, who flied out to left in his last at bat. Five, a tough out for Seaver, 88. It's going to be a ground ball, second base. Garrett throws him out, and it's Mike Shannon. And that's a 6. That's a tough out, 67. Ground ball, second base again. So it's Garrett to Cranepool. 3 up, 3 down. Not going to see much scoring now. It's pretty easy playing these earlier seasons. If you want to replay a season, I highly recommend replaying an earlier season because it's a lot less headache and you'll get all the stats. You'll get the fun of baseball game without really having to change pitchers, 5 times for each team, adding to 10 total pitchers in addition to the 2 starters and then all the pinch hitters if you're playing, especially if you're playing the National League. So Bob Gibson's going to face Rod Gasper. Gasper's 23 years old, batted .209 versus righties. That's a 7. That's in play, 71. That's a fly to center. Right there's Kurt Flood makes the catch. Wayne Garrett next. He struck out in his first at bat. And a 66. He's going to ground it to short. Maxville throws him out. And Cleon Jones. 8 is a tough 39. Tough 39, and that's going to be line base hit to left for Cleon Jones. And that is the Mets' second hit of the game. So Jones is on. He's going to try to get a lead. That's an 11. Does not manage it. Ed Kranepool on a tough 70. And that's a fly out center field. Right center field. And right there is Flood. Puts it away. And that retires the side. Tom Seaver's facing Javier, Maxville, and Gibson in the top of the fifth. No score here at Shea Stadium, 1969. Seven in play 0-5, and that's going to be lined into the left field corner, and that's going to roll to the wall. After it is a left fielder, Jones, into second base with a leadoff double is Javier. Julian Javier batted .264 versus righties. Maxville now. And that's a 3. That's defense. Again, we're calling on the Mets defense. Range third base this time. We rolled a 13, so that's definitely going to be a range hit, even if he was the best possible fielding third baseman. So another ball that gets by Charles. He won't be credited with an error this time. It will be a hit, but what kind of a hit? It's a one base hit, which sends Javier to third. So we got first and third now. So the Mets in the top of the fifth are going to play the infield in. That's a 9. A patient 73. And that's going to be a fly ball center field. Now we're going to try to score Javier. So it's center field. Let's check his arm in center field. And that's Agie's arm. Agie's arm is a 7. And Javier's speed is a 7. So we're looking at anything but a 7 is going to give us an automatic result. Anything but a 7 is going to give us an automatic result. If it's less, he's safe. If he is out, if it's above 7, he is out. If it's a 7, then we got to roll on a separate chart. And this is a fly to center, and it's a 6, and he is safe. So it's going to be a sacrifice fly for Gibson. To center field. 1-0 Cardinals with Maxville at first base. So Gibson coming up big for himself, getting that first run in from third base. Lou Brock. That's a 3. That's defense again. Holy smokes. And that's going to be error second base this time. We roll a 14. It's definitely going to be an error. Is it a 1 or a 2 base error at second base? It's a 1 base error. So it's an E. Garrett, E4. And that's going to allow Maxville to move to second. So we got first and second now. And that's the second Met error and the 8th Met error in 2 games. So it's E4. Let's get that on Garrett. We got 1 on Charles. And it's first and second now with Curt Flood coming up. So defense is not supporting our starting pitching. Curt Flood. That's a 5. That's a tough out. That's the one we needed, 61. A tough out, 61, and that's going to be a potential double play. So we're looking at 2 numbers. We're looking at the DP6 on Flood and the DP8. We take the lower number, and it's 6 or less, we get our double play. Equal to or less than gives us a double play. And it'll be a 4-6-3 double play, and there it is. The Mets turn it, and they get out of the inning with, minimizing the damage of just allowing the 1 run. But that run is going to be an earned run against Seaver, and the Cardinals lead it by a score of 1-0. Bottom of the 5th, Charles, Grody, and Harrelson against Bob Gibson. 1-0 Cardinals. That's a 5. That's a patient 43. And that's going to be a ground ball up the middle and through in the center field. Flood gets it in. It's a leadoff single for Ed Charles. Jerry Grody. That's a 10. That's in play, and in play 83. And that's going to be a ground ball shortstop. 7 or less, and we got a double play. 7 or less, and we got a 6-4-3 double play, and that's an 8. So it's going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice. 1 out. Buddy Harrelson. That's a 4. That's a patient 94. And that's a fly to left, 2 out. And now it's Seaver with 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Grody on at first. Foul ball. Souvenir for a lucky fan. And that's a 6. That's a tough pitch, a tough 51. And that's strike 3. Gets Seaver on strikes for the second consecutive time. Mets lead 1, score none at the end of 5 complete. 1-0 Cardinals. It's going to be Pinson, Torrey, and McCarver here in the top of the 6th against Tom Terrific. Cardinals lead at 1-0. Pinson steps in the box. That's going to be a wheelhouse, 73. And that's going to be a deep drive center field. Back goes the center fielder, Agee, towards the track. Nice catch by Agee. Got a good jump on that. Pinson gave it a ride, but didn't have enough. Foul ball. Souvenir for a lucky fan. And that's an 11. Wheelhouse again, 97 this time. And that's a deep drive by Torrey to left field. And back goes Jones to the track at the wall. Makes the catch. 2 out. Tim McCarver. In play, 26, and that's going to be lined and caught by the second baseman, L4. Tom Seaver. 1-2-3 inning for Tom Terrific. Bob Gibson be facing the top of the order, starting off with Agee. It's 1-0 Cardinals in this game. It's a good game going here. Defense. All right, pull a card. Potential error left field. We rolled a 73. That is above anybody's error rating, so that's going to be a ball that's caught. He lines it, and right there is Brock. Now, Brock, a couple of games ago, made an error that cost the Cardinals a 1-0 loss in the bottom of the 9th, I believe it was. So 1 out. And Rod Gasper, 7. That's in play, 69. That's a fly to center. 2 out. Flood is there. Makes the catch. And Wayne Garrett. Wayne Garrett's 0 for 2. Struck out, grounded out. That's going to be a 9. That's a tough 50. And that's going to be line drive, base hit to right. Pinson plays it on a hop. Garrett is on with a single. Cleon Jones now, the always dangerous Cleon Jones. He's the hitting star for the Mets in 1969. Bats .340. That was a crazy game. 0-0, bottom of the 9th. And 2 outs, and Brock muffs one in left field, drops in, and the winning run scores from third base. Cleon Jones. That's an 8. That's a tough pitch, a tough 90, and that's going to be a fly to left. And that retires the side. So after 6, it's 1-0 Cardinals. And Seaver is going to be facing Shannon, Javier, and Maxville here in Game 6, played April 13th, 1969. That's a 5. That's a tough out, a tough 83. And that's going to be ground ball shortstop. Harrelson up with it, fires to first, gets Shannon by a step. Javier next. That's 11. That's wheelhouse, a wheelhouse 75. And that's a fly to deep center field. On the run is Agee. Runs it down for out number 2. And Dal Maxville. That's an in-play 45. And that's a ground ball to third. Charles, nice play. Tough hop. Fires to first. 3 up, 3 down for Tom Terrific. After 6.5, 1-0 Cards. Cranepool against Gibson. Then it'll be Charles and Grody. That's an 8. That's a tough pitch and a tough 81. And that's a ground ball second base. Javier throws him out. Kranepool doesn't run very well. Longtime Met. Ends his career in 79 with the Mets. Foul ball. Back in the stands. I'm still waiting for one to come in the booth. No luck so far. 6. And that's going to be a tough 88. And that's a ground ball to short. Maxville throws on the run. Gets Charles. 2 down. Grody 0 for 2 today. He's lined out and into a fielder's choice with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. That's an 8. That's a tough pitch. 13. Strike 3. Gibson blows it by him. And that's Gibson's 2, 3, 4, 5th strikeout of the game. Showing off the heater. Let's see if Tom Seaver can respond. Facing Gibson, pitcher hitting card 12. So we're in the top of the 8th now. 1-0 Cards. Gibson, Seaver. Mets to start the season are 4-1. That's their record. Their actual record was I think, 2-3 or something to that effect. This is a 12. This is a tough pitch, a tough 45. And that's going to be strike 3. So Gibson strikes out against Seaver. And Lou Brock, that's an 8. That's a tough pitch, a tough 94. And that's going to be a fly to right. Gasper there towards the line. Pounds the glove. Makes the catch. Kurt Flood. Tough out. 50. And that's going to be a ground ball to third. And Flood is out, and that retires the side. So, excuse me, Charles makes a nice play on that ground ball to third. And now we go down to the bottom of the 8th inning. Gibson's going to be facing Harrelson, Seaver, and the top of the order. We're in the bottom of the 8th, so we may be looking at a potential pinch hitter here. Yes, so we don't know what's going to happen. 1-0 Cards. So that's going to be a tough 39, and that's going to be a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So Harrelson singles, seeing eye grounder up the middle, right? Misses Maxville's glove. And now we have Seaver coming up, and we're going to bunt with Seaver. Everybody knows he's bunting. Seaver's a terrible bunter. Everybody knows he's squaring away. So you got the third baseman inches from Seaver. See what happens. And it's bunted a few feet from the catcher. Catcher is going to decide he's going to go to first. So it's going to be a successful sacrifice. 2-4. And that's going to move the tying run to second base. So Harrelson's on at second. And it's Tommy Agee. All right, tying run here in the bottom of the 8th is at second base, 1 out. Tommy Agee, the batter. Agee batted .270 versus lefties. And it's Bob Gibson. Now, Agee's 1 for 2 on the day. He walked in the first, singled in the third, and flied out in the 6th. That's a 4. That's patient. A patient 95. And that's going to be a fly to left. 2 outs. Brock makes the catch, gets it in quickly. Back to second is Harrelson, and it's Rod Gasper. Gasper is a switch hitter batting lefty versus righties. He batted .209. You didn't know that at the beginning of the season, though. He's a right fielder for the Mets. He's platooning with Swoboda out there. 6. That's a tough pitch, a tough 33. And guess what, my friends? Rod Gasper with a .209 versus righties. A tough 33 is going to be a line drive center field. And around to score is the tying run, Buddy Harrelson. So Rod Gasper comes up huge, 0 for 3 on the day with 3 flyouts. But here, with the tying run at second in a clutch situation, who do you call? You call Rod Gasper. And that's a 6. That was a tough. We're going to go back and we're going to check that. That was a tough result, a tough 33, and that falls under the 26 to 37 singles range. That's one of the aspects of payoff pitch that really stands out to me. And that's one of the things that always attracted me to Stratomatic is that you really never totally knew what the result was going to be. It didn't matter. It could be a column 1, a column 2, column 3, 4, 5, or 6. It didn't matter. You never knew what exactly the result was going to be. And that's what this game has in common with, for example, inside pitch. Never know what everybody has a hand in the play. You got your batter, you got your pitcher, you got your batter, you got your infielder, and all those, and then you got your ballpark, and those are back and forth, back and forth. The design of inside pitch is really noteworthy. So Rod Gasper comes up huge, ties the game, so it's 1-1 in the bottom of the 8th. We have both aces still in there, and this run scoring came thanks to Tom Seaver's bunt. Wayne Garrett, left-handed batter. Oh, foul ball. And will we try to get a lead with Gasper? Why not? He has 7 stolen bases. And he does get a lead. And there he goes. And he is safe. High throw from McCarver. So that's a stolen base. Let's see where I can get that. Got to put the RBI in there. Okay. So now the Gasper's, the go-ahead run is on second base for Wayne Garrett. And we're going to pitch to Garrett. Definitely going to pitch to Garrett. All right. Not going to walk him and pitch to Jones, who's the hitting star for the Mets. So here's the pitch. That's a foul ball. Foul back into the stands. All right. That's a 6. That's a tough pitch. A tough 65. And that's going to be right outside of hit range. And so it'll be a ground ball to the shortstop, Maxville. Fires to first, and that retires the side. But the Mets tie the game here in the bottom of the 8th. Big hit by Rod Gasper. And we go to the top of the 9th. 1-1. How long can both these starters go? That's the question. Well, there's no limit. We'll see what happens. It's going to be Pinson, Torrey, and McCarver against Seaver in a 1-1 ball game, top of the 9th. That's a 7. That's in play, 52. And that's a ground ball to third. Charles to his left. Throws on the run, gets Pinson, 1 away. Joe Torrey next. Torrey's 0 for 3. Flied out, ground out, and flied out again. That's a 5. That's a tough out. A tough 15. Strike 3 on Torrey. Seaver blows it by him, and that's his 2. Hasn't had many strikeouts today. That's his 2nd strikeout. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. 1-1 ball game. That's a 6. That's a tough out. A tough 53. And that's a ground ball to short. Harrelson throws him out. And McCarver's retired. 3 up, 3 down for Tom Terrific. Gibson. Yeah, the tough out you can explain. Yes, yeah, sure, I'll explain the tough out, brother. Easy stuff. Basically, the tough out, you see under tough, and this is you just have to understand the purpose of it. Once you understand the purpose of it, that's really ultimately what we need to do in these games. Understand the purpose of the rule, and then we'll play it right. So basically, if you look in tough, you can still get a hit. You see, you can still get a hit. You can. So if I roll a tough on a pitcher, which basically is for a tough pitcher, you can still get a hit. But when you have a tough out, there's no way you can get a hit. 1 to 33. Let's say I just rolled a tough here, and he were a tough out pitcher, right? Let's say I rolled a 6, and that said tough out. So then I rolled a 35, right? 35. That would be a double. But no, not if he's a tough out. If he's a tough out, you go to the out. And that's a 35, and that's going to be a ground ball first base. So it's like an automatic out. The whole column, the whole section becomes an out, regardless that there are hit sections here. Because there's a hit from 34 to 36 for a double. There's a hit from 37 to 53 for a single. Not if he has tough out. All right? So a tough out could be the equivalent of like 2 toughs. And only Joe knows how, he knows how he figured that out. So basically, that's how you read that, Molly. All right. All right, so it's Cleon Jones in the bottom of the 9th. 1-1. And that's a 7. That's in play, 96. Wow. It's a high number. Fly ball to left. Brock. One down. Kranepool in play 54. That's a grounded to short. Maxville throws him out. 2 down. Charles. 5. Patient 56. And that's a fly to right, and that retires the side. Pinson is there. Runs it down. Top of the 10th. Both starters are still in there. Top of the 10th inning. Seaver is going to face Shannon, Javier, and Maxville. 1-1. That's a 7. That's in play. And in play 77. And that's a fly to center. AG comes in, shallow fly. Makes the catch. A 5 is a tough out, 89. You see, if it would have been a 46, it still would have been an out. So there's your result. Tough out, but it's an 89. So no matter what it lands on, it's going to be an out. You just go to the out section. And an 89 is a hard hit ground ball at shortstop. Bobbles it for a second, fires to first. And Harrelson throws out Javier. Down Maxville. 3, defense. This is what you don't want to happen. Error third base again on Charles. We roll a 91, and that's lined and caught by Charles, and that retires the side. Holy smokes. Charles had 3 errors yesterday, 1 today. That would have been his 5th error in 2 games. Okay. So we're going to have Grody, Harrelson, and Seaver, and this may be it for Seaver. We may bring a pinch hitter in for Seaver. Bottom of the 10th inning. 1-1 game. No problem on that explanation for that. Jerry Grody. Jerry Grody batted 260 versus righties. Here's the pitch from Gibson. That's a 10. That's in play, 89. And that's a grounded to short. Dal Maxville. Sure-handed Maxville throws him out. And Harrelson is the one who scored the tying run. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Buddy Harrelson, a tough 16, and that's strike 3. And that's strikeout number 6 for Bob Gibson. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter for Seaver. That's it for Tom Seaver, my friends. And who is it going to be? It's going to be Kenny Boswell. Going to pinch hit for Seaver. Boswell for Seaver, bottom 10. And then we're going to do new pitcher for the Mets. All right, here goes. Kenny Boswell, left-handed batter. 290 versus righties. That's an 8. That's a tough 33. And that's going to be pulled down the line to the right field corner, and Pinson's after it. Around second is Boswell. Here's the relay to third, and he is safe with a 2-out triple. 2-out pinch hit triple. Puts the winning run at third base for Tommy Agee. Holy smokes. Where did that come out of? And let's take a look at that. That was a tough pitch, too. And he took a tough pitch, and he lined it down into the right field corner. Pinson had some trouble getting to the ball, but he gets a triple out of it, and it's a 2-out triple. Puts the winning run 90 feet away in the bottom of the 10th. So Seaver would still get the victory. He was just pinch hit for. So Seaver is in line for the victory if the Mets can get that run home right here. Tommy Agee against Bob Gibson, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th, winning run, third base. What can I say? Tommy Agee batted 270 versus righties. And that's going to be a 7. That's in play, 0-5, and there it is. That ball drops in there, and the Mets win the ball game. Tommy Agee comes up clutch. That's going to be a single for Agee. That's all you needed. And the Mets, he gets a star. The Mets come back from a 1-0 deficit in the bottom of the 8th. They score 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 10th. They win it in extra innings. Tom, terrific, gets the victory. Bob Gibson gets the loss, unfortunately. And what can you say about that game? Holy smokes. Wow, so after 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 10th, Grody grounded out and Harrelson struck out. Then Seaver was pulled for a pinch hitter, Kenny Boswell. And up came Boswell, took a Gibson fastball and lined it into the right field corner. Pinson chased after it, bounced off the wall, rolled away from him, and around second was Garrett on his way to third, and the relay was late. So that was a pinch hit triple by by Kenny Boswell. And then up came Agee and lined a Gibson fastball into center field, and it dropped in front of Flood for the ball game. And that's all she wrote. Mets win it by a score of 2-1. Wow, I couldn't ask for a better game on a day that I'm recovering and should be at work, bored to death. Actually, that's not true. I wouldn't be bored, but decided to take an extra day. Mets win it. And the hits, let's go quickly over the hits. There's a 1 hit, 2 hits. Seaver pitched a 3-hitter. Wow. Pitched a 3-hitter. And Gibson gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. So Seaver basically outdueled Gibson in this encounter. They do meet in another 5 or 6 games for a rematch. We'll see what happens when they come. They face each other in that rematch 5 or 6 games from now. So that's it. So the line score on this: Cardinals 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. Mets 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Mets committed 2 more errors. They committed 6 yesterday, 2 today. That's 8 in 2 days. And now we're going to go to Philadelphia. We're going to go about 3 hours away from Shea to Philadelphia to play the Phillies. We're going to face them at Schreiber Park. And I'm going to switch over to Inside Pitch for a few games. So I will be inputting this data right here. And then I will be switching over to Inside Pitch and putting my cards to the side, my payoff pitch cards to the side. So I'm going to be going back and forth. What else? The last thing I wanted to talk about was that I made an offer on a 1976 set. There's no way I can afford a 1969 set. If anybody wants to gift that to me, anybody out there who's independently wealthy, I'd love a 1969 set so I can look at some of these players. I wasn't able to do that, but I can barely make it to the 1976 set. And I put an offer on one of those because I'm doing the 76 Yankees. That was my first season of tabletop baseball. And it's been basically pure, addiction ever since, for 40 years or so, 45 years. So anyway, this is CP Cards and Dice, guys. This is your tabletop streaming, YouTube channel for reviews, chat, new products, game design, strategies, anecdotes, player profiles, history, news, and tutorials. So please like and visit and recommend our station, our channel to the community. Take care, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you all soon. Take care.